This is a regular meeting of the Allendale Land Use Board, in which formal action will be taken on the items listed on the agenda, and upon any other matters which may properly come before the Land Use Board. The requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been satisfied through posting on the Public Bulletin Board in the municipal building and the borough website, and by publication in the record on January 31, 2022, with copies being sent to the Ridgewood News. Certain agenda items we open to the public for comment or testimony, and the board will advise the public when such matters are open for their comment or testimony. I should join me in a pledge to the flag. Right here behind me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First order of business, since this is the reorganization meeting, the first meeting of the year. And we have several new members, including the new mayor has now joined the board, Mayor Amy Mazinski. And John Dallow is a new member as well down on the right-hand side. So we'll be swearing them in and doing a bunch of administrative things that we need to do to make sure that we can then act legally and appropriately for the rest of the meeting. So you're going to have to bear with us while we do go through the administrative tasks that we have to do. So with that, we'll get started. We have the oath of office. If I can administer it, right? Sure. All right. So who's being sworn in? Looks like we have Mayor. John. Anybody else whose term expired?
No, Frank was just brought up.
Year by year, yeah, so.
And Frank was brought up from an alternate to a regular.
Right, Frank's already in. Oh, he's a regular, so you gotta get up.
Nope. Stepping up.
Now you're a regular.
There we go. All right. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, and state your name.
I, Frank Fisher,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
And I will
support
support
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and the next states,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of Land Use Board member of the Borough of Allendale.
All the duties of the Land Use Board in Borough of Allendale.
There you go. According to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
You are sworn. Congratulations.
Welcome. Okay. So we just heard that group take the oath of office. I don't have to read the other one for you. Okay. And then we have two alternates to be determined. So with that, we'll go to the roll call.
Board Member Bergen,
Here.
Board Member Petrino.
Here.
Board Member Kistner.
Here.
Councilman Delavatio.
Here.
Board Member Delavatio. Board Member Dallo.
Here.
Vice Chairman Sirico.
Here.
Mayor Wilsinski.
Here.
Chairman Quinn.
Here. Next order of business is several resolutions relating to the order of voting as we proceed as a board. Election of the chair, election of the vice chair, and election of the secretary of the board. We have resolutions to be signed for each of those. So when we will do the resolution of the order of voting. We need to read that out loud, Chris?
So I can read it by title, so somebody can move it and second it and then vote on it.
So move, Sirico. Second, Kistner. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Well, wait, actually, we'll do the roll call since it's here, part of the resolution. Let's do it that way. So we'll do a roll call vote on it. So I'm sorry, let's go back. Mike, I offered. I second Kistner. Second, okay. This is the second. You want to do it? Okay, roll call, please.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner, Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Mayor Wusinski,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yes. Yeah, that motion carries. Okay, you can hold it. I will, I'll have it. All right, the next of the election of the chair, vice chair and secretary. I am the chair, Mike Sirico is the vice chair, Joe Delavisio is the secretary, all of which have indicated to me and myself affirm that we want to continue in those roles. If anyone else would like to nominate themselves or nominate someone else, if you could do so now. Somebody should move in, yeah, right, yeah. Okay, so if there are no other nominations, we'll close the nomination and move to a. Does someone want to move that Kevin Quinn will continue as chair, Michael Sirico will continue as vice chair, and Joseph Delavisio will continue as secretary?
Night, two oh three.
Yeah, yeah,
I would like to make a motion as a see all three chairman, vice chairman, and secretary the same, with our next outstanding job. I'll second it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And the second one, Frank.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you.
We can move 203 and 04 as a two.
Okay, so we're gonna move all three as a one single roll call vote. It's been moved, it's been second. There's no discussion, we'll go to the vote.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes,
Board Member Kistner,
with pleasure.
Board Member Delavisio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Wusinski,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yes. Thank you for the confidence. That's done. Yeah. Lots of paperwork. All right, next order of business is the resolution for the appointments of the various professionals to serve the board. First being land use board legal counsel, Christopher Bonner. We have a resolution that appoints Chris. Somebody would like, I guess, to move that?
I'd like to move that. I'd like to make that motion.
And so move Sirico, or second Sirico, I'm sorry, second Sirico.
There's discussion on the motion. Okay, and we'll go to a roll call vote, please.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico.
Yes,
Mayor Wilsinski,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yes. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you for having me. My pleasure. What? So we'll get to when the-
yeah.
Back, right? Yep. Okay, next order of business is, land use resolution 23-06, and that's to reappoint the borough engineer, Mr. Michael Freeland.
So moved.
Second.
That's the mayor. Taking notice, yeah. Okay. Second, that was Frank.
No.
Okay. No discussion, well, I'll move to the roll call vote, please.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico.
Yes,
Mayor Wilsinski,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yes. Okay. Michael, welcome back as well. That motion carries. Next order of business is the appointment of the land use board planner. Is that Snikes, who's not here this evening. We welcome his insight and his input from a planning perspective over the years, and we welcome him back as well. So would anybody would like to make the motion to continue with it? Snikes?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you. So listen, take the motion, and we have a second.
I'll second.
Right. Second. No discussion, we'll move right to a roll call vote, please.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico.
yes,
Mayor Wilsinski,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. Well. We'll just fill that one in, but- Next is the time and place of land use board meetings. We're usually a general meeting that is the third Wednesday of the month, with the work session being on the Monday preceding the third Wednesday of the month. We're pretty much on that schedule for next year.
Yes.
No exceptions. Sometimes there are because of holidays or whatever. That not being the case, then we'll go with the dates as prescribed in the resolution, that will be posted and noticed to the public when those meetings occur. So I'd like someone to move that motion.
So move Sirico.
Thank you, Mike.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Yeah, I had looked at it a while ago. I think we'll do it. So we'll move to, there's no other discussion, we'll move to a vote.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Wasinski,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yeah, that motion for it. In the west, administrative resolution is the adoption of the bylaws by which this board operates. How we vote, some of the things we approve here, generally we stop testimony at 10:30 if we're running a long meeting. And we try to stop at 11. That's kind of our absolutes, and we've been pretty good at adhering to that for some of the lengthy applicants that come in, applications that come before us. So we'll continue with the bylaws. We updated them a couple of years ago. If they're still, we looked at them, we'll give them a read and see if there's something we should change. I doubt it. That's been working pretty well for many years. That being the case, I'll ask someone to make a motion to approve the bylaw.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Joe.
And I'll second.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, there's no discussion, we'll move right to a vote.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo,
Yeah.
Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Mayor Wasinski, Chairman Quinn.
That's carried. Yeah. Of the real, yes. Yes. Okay, and we'll get to more unusual patterns. First order of business is the approval of minutes from December 21, 2022, which I made a couple of updates. Did I miss something? Okay. I made some updates to the minutes and they were sent out to the members who were in attendance in December. So those are people who are, I bet those people to approve the minutes. If anybody has any changes, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from December 21.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Thanks, Joe. We have a second on that.
Second Sirico.
Thanks, Mike. Any discussion? All in favor, who can vote? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention?
Stand.
Same for people who weren't here and they're here and Don Smith, so they'll be the abstention to the season on the minutes. Otherwise, the minutes are carried. Now we had some resolutions that on actions that were taken in December. For that, I usually ask council first to kind of paraphrase what was done. The first item there is land use 423-10. I'm sorry, but it's the land use board action of 2022-23. Angela Nimmo and Jennifer Sedgley, 39 Montrose Terrace. Block 406, lot 18, it was renovation expansion of the second floor of a single family home with variances.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This was the application, Andrew Nimmo, Jennifer Sedgley, 39 Montrose Terrace. They were seeking approval for variance relief for a proposed addition and renovations to their premises in the AA zone. The application was in evidence with their plans, the engineering report was in evidence from Mr. Breland. They requested front setback variance relief, rear setback variance relief, lot area relief, and side yard setbacks. It's on the western side of Montrose Terrace. And they were planning additions and renovations to the dwelling, including first and second floor expansions, rear covered and raised patio. Other amenities were shown on the plan. Their professional architect presented the issues relating to the variances. The board asked questions. Mr. Breland added comments. No members of the public appeared. And the board determined to grant the variance relief requested with certain conditions. The conditions were all fees and assessments to be paid with the part of any application. Also, that they shall work with the borough engineer in the event any field adjustments are required for construction of the addition, so as not to negatively impact surrounding properties and minimize and address any stormwater or drainage issues. They also agreed to comply with Mr. Breland's December 8th review letter. They will also work with the borough engineer arborist on the installation of shade trees on the property along Montrose Terrace and submit an as-built plan when finalized. So that is a summary of the resolution that the board asked me to prepare and will memorialize tonight.
Thank you, Chris. Any comments or additions? Not, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thanks, John. Do we have a second of the motion?
Sirico, second Sirico.
Thanks, Mike. Any discussion? We'll move to a roll call vote. Those who are new to the board will just indicate that they're abstaining.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yeah, that resolution carried. The other action from December was actually a continuance from a 2021-17, Eric and Lisa Neff, 47 Homewood Ave, lot 2005, block 2005, lot 6. And they were seeking for an extension of time to an addition they were putting on their own. So they wanted another year, I believe, is what was granted, but I'll ask Chris to paraphrase that.
Yes, the applicants had received variance approval in January 2022 for relief at 47 Homewood. They sent in a formal request to extend it for a year, and we routinely grant those. The board agreed to that at the last meeting, so this memorializes a one-year extension on their ability to pull a permit to move forward with their addition.
Thank you. There are no comments to that. I'll take a motion to approve.
So move Sirico.
That's Mike. We have a second on the motion.
I'll second it.
So, okay, we'll move to a roll call vote for those eligible to vote.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah, that carries. Well. Okay. Now we'll get to the public hearings aspect of the meeting for this evening. There are two items. The variance, seeking variance relief. And I'll remind those, when you do come up, speak directly, please, into the microphone, and if there's more than one person, maybe move the mic between the two of you, so we can hear you and record. Okay, the first item is land use board 2023-01, Gregory and Brianne Zepp, 79 Elmwood Road, Allendale, New Jersey, block 1403, lot 2. There's a two-story addition at the rear of the existing home. We have a rear 3-yard setback issue. Applicants and dependent. Please step up. Whoever's going to testify will swear you in.
So, why don't you both raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth through the course of this application? All right, and if you could give your name, each name and address for the record, they can take it down. Yep.
Greg Zepp, 79 Edgewood Road, Allendale.
That's it. Yeah. More intimidating, I guess. I thought it would be.
Greg Zepp, 79 Edgewood Road, Allendale.
We didn't start the spot on the check.
Yeah.
Variation. Turn up the heat.
Mr. Chairman, before we start, I have reviewed the public notice that was submitted and sent out on this application. It was run in the record on January 6, 2023, and the notice is of sufficient detail to notify the public of this application. I've also reviewed the mailings, which are sufficient and are in good order. So the board does have jurisdiction to proceed with its application.
Thanks, Greg. And I just want to make sure I understand this is a hardship variance, is that correct?
Yes, see that.
Okay, B1, so that goes to the property itself. So we'll talk about that. We'll probably ask you questions along those lines.
Sure.
We'll try to answer. Okay. Okay, why don't we, I know we've got some plans here. Why don't we let you sort of take over and tell us what you want to do, what you're trying to do on this property, and why you have to come before us.
Yeah, so right now, I guess the existing property of the house that was, I guess, built in 62, if I had my ways, I would have probably built it a little differently, but it'll be it. So the rear setback would be reduced 34.7 feet. And if you take a look, I guess, at the survey drawings that were part of the application, essentially what we want to do is just push back again further into the variance and extend the master bedroom and create effectively a home office. So we just welcomed our third child at the end of October. And thank you for that. And you know, maybe that in and of itself is a hardship, but
You don't have to deal with that.
yeah, exactly. We'll deal with that ourselves. You know, so the current setup, and particularly post-pandemic, working from home, the bedroom that will now become our son's room is currently my office. And the thought was we would be, the real reason was creating an office downstairs sort of separate from the family area for me next to the garage. And then on top of that, obviously would be like the more bedrooms, so we'd be pushing out the bedroom. So part of that, unfortunately, I guess it's still in violation of or needs a variance or a hardship exemption. The shape of the property is, I think, probably the one that's the most likely to hopefully help us qualify for that variance. I mean, it's a very narrow area in the back. And like I said, we initially were designing, we probably would have taken the house into forward of 10 feet and probably, you know, to the left or right of 10 feet to just give us more even backyard. So it's really the shape that it is a hardship enough, and hopefully it's not too much of a construction burden or anything that would be opposed by those in the neighborhood or else. So that's it in a nutshell.
So this is a second. Well, it looks like a two-story addition, right? It looks like
It's
you had a deck or something there, and now you're knocking that down, and you're going up over it.
Yeah, it is a ranch, but there is a basement, I guess, below grade underneath, and then juts out into the garage, so when you're looking at the garage side, it is two-story, but most of the house is one-story
One-story,
ranch, exactly, and so. Again, the plans that, will be submitted, if you looked at the garage, yeah, it would be extending out the master bedroom.
Straight to the
Straight, exactly, the way that the property is set now, certainly, yeah, it would be, if there had been contemplation of where you can see the L area where the back walkway is, of filling that in, but then you, I guess, lose the bedroom, and so it was, I think, a solution of, it would effectively be just the pushback of the bedroom with a little, instead of the back stairs coming out of the kitchen, there would be a little, island area with mostly more storage underneath, that connects the kitchen door with what would be the, I guess, the, when I get to the wall, but anyway, an island that would go in between the two, sort of the jutting out of the extension and the existing frame, so.
Are you excavating more basement?
There would be some, yes, some excavation to be able to sort of have it even with the garage, I would say. There's a little bit of a slope when you leave the garage area into the backyard, they will be excavating.
Okay.
to
So that,
actually-
that creates a little more, because I know, I see some partial basement plan here too, so.
Yeah, it would just be, it'd just be changing the layout, I guess. So right now,
Okay.
the garage. You enter the garage, you go into effectively the basement area, the mudroom, and then the downstairs.
Okay.
At this point, and what this would be doing is we'd be creating a pathway, a little hallway that allows the access to the new office. So the only access would be coming through downstairs, and wouldn't be an exterior door that allows the access. You'd be going down a little bit of a hallway where the existing laundry room is, and just creating again more storage and effectively a little bit more of a hallway into the office area.
Okay.
So yeah, there would, yes, there would be some excavation.
And we'll ask the engineer about some of the permitting and all that goes along with that. If there's enough soil movement, you gotta go to the county and whatnot for that.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, it's kind of a trapezoidal piece of property.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see where, you know, that runs narrow to the back
Yeah, that's exactly it.
and pulls away to the right side of the house versus the left side.
Exactly.
It creates a little space there, but,
You're very front yard heavy, not necessarily backyard, and so that's the sort of this was the issue.
any members have other questions on the plans or?
So the property in the back, it's all, you have all vegetation back there. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grass,
So-
exactly. There's an outdoor.
Yeah, there's grass back there, but then there's trees along the property.
Yeah, oh, yes, there are trees along the property line that effectively separate, yeah.
All right, so the neighbor behind you wouldn't necessarily see.
Yeah, there's enough
Within
foliage
reason,
and stuff, within reason, yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing, I would think too significantly different than what they see now, so, yes, exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really don't have any questions, and congratulations on your third kid.
Thank you.
Three myself. God bless you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, you know, unfortunately, the property is so oddly shaped. You know, I mean, you're kind of, there's really not much you can do.
kind of stuck. I mean, there was contemplation of building up, but then that gets way too much, too expensive, and the preference would actually be not to leave or move, and you know, I mean, my wife grew up here, my parents are still here, there's a first grade teacher here, so way back, you know, I guess not really deep roots. Yeah, exactly. So the preference would be to stay in our neighborhood and stay in our town and not have to work particularly in this housing market for limited inventory and for a house that we really want to stay in.
Oh, We're happy that you're staying.
Yeah.
I just have a couple simple questions.
Yeah.
So you have any proposed lighting that may shed light towards your neighbors or anything that's gonna?
There's an existing floodlight that goes up to the driveway and, I think that would remain, yeah, there wouldn't be any additional floodlights or that.
Any of the leaders or drains or anything coming off the new portion that are gonna pitch towards your neighbor?
I would, that has been, I guess, fully detailed. The thought would be that it wouldn't. There is sort of already existing, we have had in the driveway itself, the dry well instances of heavy rain where we haven't gotten backed up water into the garage, but the driveway has certainly flooded, or not flooded, but certainly accumulated water. We've had to use pumps to sort of exit water, probably 2 or 3 times in the last 4 years that we've been here, it's going on 5. And that's something we do want to address, and we've spoken already with our engineer, just being able to make sure that the dry well is, however, that's determined that it's, adequate enough to continue making drainage work smoothly and any seepage come off. So, yeah, that would definitely be something we need to address. So,
Which may have to be addressed.
yes, exactly. Yeah, that would be part of, yeah.
And you're open to doing it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
It would have been probably something even without contemplating if you wanted to do, but we could do it.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions. I think what you're proposing, it fits with the house and I don't really have any issues on that.
Great.
My only question is when the kids grow up, we're gonna think of the cars.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good question. We're not building a third car garage. I don't want to know. Do with someone.
No, I think, I mean.
Any other members? Go ahead.
I agree that it looks like if you just slid your house over, it could all fit within the parameters of the setbacks. What are the finishes you're proposing for the exterior, for the addition? Is it are you redesigning the entire house?
Yeah, it hasn't been. I don't want to be committed to it, yet, just we have to get it priced out and determined, but, there would be thought that along with the construction, if we're going to do, obviously having a sign for the addition, that we might go ahead and just do it for the whole house as well. Haven't completely determined that yet,
Yeah.
but it might happen.
Okay.
And if it doesn't happen, we'll kind of match what's there.
Yeah, yes, it won't be polka dot or, different colors, yeah, it'll be in line with the existing. Yeah.
But you have the questions by fellow board members that's, for a Jill, I'm not reporting that.
Okay. But you're gonna step it on, Mike. But I'll ask Mike to comment. You did put a report in, so let's hear it.
Just a couple of observations when I was out there. I do believe that the property is somewhat irregularly shaped, and it does pinch off in that direction, and the house located where the house is currently. But I think one of the things that makes this a little more unique than some of the other ones that we've seen is the fact that it's a raised ranch with a exposed garage.
Right.
So by putting the addition on that side of the house, it gives them the opportunity to have windows and some additional bedroom for downstairs office space. So that would seem, based on that, I would think that would be an appropriate location, in the back of that house to put in the downstairs addition. Other than that, I think the board did a good job picking up on the comments, and I think I heard enough from the customer.
Great your report. Did you talk about the plans at all with your neighbors? So I will open it up to the public for comment.
Yeah, the ones that were immediately next to us, but yeah, not everyone that was set out on the,
No, that's not expected.
exactly, but
The
yes,
people on that
the-
left side.
the immediate ones to the left and to the right both know that the potential plans, so yeah.
Good. Other questions from the board? Okay, I'll open it up to the public. Any members of the public like to be heard on this one? So, lady back there, and would you please come up and state your name and address for the record?
Jennifer Dolan. I'm Jennifer Dolan. I'm a neighbor at 123 Edgewood Road. And first of all, congratulations. And second of all, I have absolutely no issue with the development that you're proposing and totally get the need to expand the Ridge Ranch because I've lived in it for 30 years.
Yeah.
I think the concern that I have is not specific to the project, but to the neighborhood in general. I'm downhill from them in a neighborhood where there's been a tremendous amount of development, pools, hardscaping. And what I'm seeing and feeling in my home and in the woods we share is a tremendous issue that's going to develop. And so I'm pleased to hear that it will be addressed. But my questions for the board is how is that addressed or monitored proactively as these projects come in? I've tried to raise an issue with the situation next door to me where a huge 8 or 10 inch pipe was installed after hard sweeping, putting right in the home, directly downhill. And I'm a raised ranch, so I'm above ground. My office is partly underground, and the patio line is eye level to where I sit and work with water collecting 2-3 inches in a very short 10 minutes of rain. So I came really as an opportunity to raise that issue and to ask how is that handled, not to prevent what this
Fair.
is planning to do for the home.
I guess I'd ask Mike, the engineer, who is in charge of all the construction and what's on that goes along.
Depending on the scope of the project, we get involved with the triggering of soil movement with a plot plan and what comes to the board. And what we generally do is a policy and the ordinance, we ask the applicant's professional engineer put together some kind of drainage plan with calculations that demonstrates, when the project is complete, that there won't be any net increase runoff, or the runoff will be less than it was prior to that.
And that's by law.
Yeah, prior to them, implementing the project. There are probably situations out there that have occurred, associated with things that don't reach that threshold, or, work that has been done after the project has been completed. But that's generally, the course of action that we look at projects coming in front of us.
So you'll be monitoring this project.
Yeah, so
Where's it
specifically
going?
our recommendation for this project, we're going to address the inlet and driveway. And also, there's some existing downspouts, so, they'll have to have an engineer take a look at what the new coverage is, and provide some kind of stormwater management to address the additional runoff associated with the change in income. And, that can happen in a variety of different ways, and it's up to, their professional to decide which way they feel is best, and we just review the calculations to make sure that it's being designed and enforced with general policies and guidelines.
And the applicant's willing to stipulate to that you'll work with the borough engineer, your engineer, and you'll resolve any water issues and cap it the way it's supposed to be capped.
We would have wanted to address that in the application, but yes.
I just want it on the record that you're in agreement.
Yep.
Anything else? Mike?
I don't.
So there is no impervious coverage issue here as far as I can see with this particular one.
No, they're below the coverage requirements.
Right.
They are expanding the footprint of the building slightly, and then I think stop about it.
That's the one.
There is a little bit of a change in the coverage, but it's the minimus compared to.
And then are you across the street, to the left or to the right?
Street downhill.
Downhill being to the right side as you go, or out towards, are you closer? Towards Skyler, okay.
So the road swells down towards, as well as down towards Drexel on the other side.
Right.
I'm assuming we have inlets and whatnot to capture the water along the curb line.
I don't know specifically on this roadway, because we don't have a lot of drainage system.
Right.
So those are the
Right.
nature of the history of.
Help answer your question.
It does. I guess the question I have is on previous projects that I'm being impacted by. What is the protocol and what is the sign off on the project that, whether it meets the, the impervious ratio or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, not every building project comes to this board, only those that require a variance. So many don't come to us, but the borough has its own professionals, and Mike Freeland
And
not only represents the board, but it represents the borough.
right, and not every activity a homeowner does, right, raises to the level of. Smaller project.
We, any applicant that comes before us, we're very concerned with stormwater management. That's always been a focus. We've actually had to have specialized training on it as board members. So we bring that up when it's something before us for sure. Other projects, I don't know if they didn't need a variance, they don't have to come to us. So.
I mean, one thing I could suggest, if you feel it's a direct discharge from the downside, or something, then maybe a proper maintenance type of issue that we can discuss with the proper maintenance.
So maybe send an email to one of us or tonight.
I think you're asking the homeowner.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, if you would, if you so choose.
Yeah, no, thank you, I appreciate you. Writing.
Thank you for your questions. Any others? Okay.
I'll give you a card.
Okay, any other members of the public wish to be heard on this application? Hearing and seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. Any other final questions for the board? Let's see, it's fairly straightforward. I think it meets the definition of hardship with the certainly the property shape and the location of the house. In my mind, it does. But, other board members may think differently. If anybody's got an issue or not, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Anybody would like to make that motion?
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the applicant, with the comments my fellow, board members have made and the report that, we're actually, dealing with.
Thanks, Ron. Second on that motion.
Second, Sirico.
Thanks, Mike, any discussion on the motion front? No.
I think we would only add in this, the, general, usual and customary conditions to, work with the borough engineer in the field for any, stormwater management issues to be addressed.
To the county, if there's a oil movement permits needed.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna read
It
it.
may not be that enough, but disturbing, okay. Okay, so with those stipulations, we'll move to a vote, please. Roll call.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Petrino,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Congratulations on your new addition and good luck with your new addition. Definitely, yes.
Board Member Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Dallo, Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yeah, can I welcome Kristen's comments?
Thank you.
Mayor Wasinski,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Very much.
Thank you.
With once, always a stipulation. Fred?
So the, resolution will be memorialized at the next meeting in February, so you can start your plans and everything, but no permit will be issued until the application is formally memorialized next February. So not February.
You don't have to be in attendance for that, that's sort of a formality.
Great. Understood. Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
He wasn't that bad.
No.
Take care.
I smell the ammonia.
The next item on the agenda, the last item. Is file land use board 2023-202, applicant Jacqueline Garminio and Andrew McVeigh, 900 Franklin Turnpike. Block 502, lot 9, and this is a second floor addition, I believe, with some side yard setback. Rear yard setback, okay.
So if you can raise your right hand and, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the course of this application.
I do.
All right. Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Jacqueline Darminio, 900 Franklin Turnpike, Allendale.
Andrew McVeigh, 900 Franklin Turnpike.
Got the notice of this,
Mr. Chairman, I've reviewed the notice, that ran in the record on, January 8th, which was sufficient notice to the public. in sufficient detail. I've also reviewed the mailings to the 200 feet neighbor list, and they are all in order, so we have to move forward. Because
Okay, great. Okay, you've been sworn, so, it's the point where I kind of turn it over to the applicant or if they're a professional. Tell us what you want to do and how it, what the hardship is. I'm assuming this is a C1 hardship variance.
Yes, Chairman and members of the board, thank you for having us tonight. Yes, this is your classic C1 hardship variance. This lot in particular is burdened by being substandard in terms of size by about 10,000 square feet. It's also a corner lot, so not only is it substandard in size, it also has 2 front yards and a substantial rear yard requirement. In fact, the building envelope for this structure is for the lot is unusual in shape and quite small to begin with. If you look just at the existing structure and the survey as it exists today, which is in the upper left corner of the front page of the plan, you can see that there isn't much we could build on this lot that wouldn't impact the variance.
Right.
My husband and I, who's sitting next to me, we're actually trying to think what could we do here to try and construct that wouldn't impact the variance, and the answer is essentially there isn't anything we could do that wouldn't require us to appear before you. That being said, what we're proposing to do right now, our second story has 2 bedrooms, both of which are dormers, meaning that the further ends of the bedrooms are about 5 feet in height. I am 5'1" and I can barely stand. I can not stand under them. If I bend my neck, I can. To my children's benefit, they're in the 75th percentile for height. So they will not have this problem, but those are the bedrooms that they are the height problem. Those are the bedrooms that they'll be living in, and they're likely to outgrow it quite quickly. So the impetus for the construction plan was to make sure we get those rooms into full height and also to provide a bathroom and some additional living space on the second story. The variance itself is a rear yard setback for basically a corner or triangular piece of the second story that we are proposing. It goes to about 45 feet, where the existing structure itself comes out to, I think it's 39. You know, I have it here, now it's easier to read for me. 36.7 feet. So we're not going out to the furthest point in the house, but we are invading the rear yard by about 5 feet on that diagonal. If we could have designed this structure in a way that avoids that, however, that would involve some engineering difficulties and would result in a cut-off house that would look a little bit interesting. And as I can see, that's costly. It would be something we would like to avoid. And given that miraculously the majority of this house of the proposed addition is not require a variance, that we think that this is a very reasonable proposal for the second story. And we would appreciate any feedback on that. Oh, before you guys get to your comments, I did in fact read the engineering report. Right now the house is aluminum siding that they don't really make anymore. We're going to try our best to match it because residing is already an expensive product. Residing the entire house adds an additional expense. Obviously, if we can't match well enough, I'm not going to be happy with that. So you can be sure that that will be placed in that sense. So we're hoping to match. And there is no additional lighting being proposed for the second story. That's what's there today.
I drove by, so when I turned on the Iroquois, looked, and I guess where the addition is going is where the dormant section is that right? So
Yeah,
basically it's squaring that off.
And a little bit further kind of into the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an existing attic space. The house itself is fully has a full basement, so we don't need the existing attic space for storage. So we'll be moving into that as well to include a bathroom and some additional rooms.
And the house has I guess it fronts on Franklin Turnpike, right?
Yes, it
But
does.
the driveway is on Iroquois.
Yeah, it's designed to be parallel to Franklin Turnpike, but yeah, the driveway comes off Iroquois. That's how we get our number. Actually, we have a little sign on the front door that tells people if they leave packages there, we're not going to see them.
Okay, so you don't really use that entrance.
No.
I grew up in a dormer town many moons ago. I
Hi,
still have the bumps on my head, the prove it, and the holes in the walls.
yeah,
For my brother, my brother's 6'4".
oh, man. Yeah, I'm hopeful that my children will be as tall as I am, but if they, have to, grow up in a dormer room, they're gonna be bent over.
Board members, questions, if not, I'll ask Mike to comment from the engineering perspective. Not to cut off board members, go ahead.
I don't have any questions. I just want to commend you. That was a very, very good presentation you gave and very thorough.
Oh, thank you.
And I appreciate that. And from all the years we've been on the board, I really appreciate the fact that you guys looked at it from a different perspective, to not get a variance, but as you said, you don't have a choice. There's nothing you can do. But we appreciate that you looked at it so you don't have to get a variance. So I just want to say thank you. It was very well said.
I appreciate that. I'll admit my secret. I was a land use attorney for 7 years.
There you go.
Feedback. Yeah.
Board of attorney, but yeah, it was 7 years, so.
They showed
Thank you.
positively.
I take back what I said.
I was really impressed with the fact that you said you're in the engineering report, and here's the deal, bang, bang, okay.
You know what I'm expecting.
And that's some classic, plan from your architect.
Yes, we went old school with the
Yes,
blue line.
that's the way Chris, that's the way Chris does it.
That's how we done
And he used to be the chairman of the planning board when I was first joined the planning board, so. He knows his stuff. Michael?
Don't really have much to comment. I think, there's really no expansion here and footprint of the building. Maybe it impacts the drainage standpoint. It's not creating a large mass and,
Right.
and we're just adding something. So, really don't have much to say as far as any potential benefit.
Any runoff issues?
No, they're not increasing. Coverage.
And I think we talked about lights too, right?
Yeah, no planned lighting for the addition.
And you're gonna try to match it up if you can find matching.
That might be the hardest aspect of
Good luck with
the
that.
plan.
Goodbye.
Any other comments from the board? I'll open it up to the public. Any members of the public wish to be heard on this application?
It's always a good thing when I'm.
Different way to go
Sure.
allow, I think. Thank you. All right, not hearing none and seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would gladly like to make a motion to approve this application.
Any restrictions there, Chris, or?
Just the usual customary, work with the engineer if needed.
I agree.
I'll second to Rico.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Not, we'll move to a roll call vote, please.
Board Member Bergen?
Yes.
Board Member Petrino?
Yes.
Board Member Kistner?
Yes.
Board Member Delavatio?
Yes.
Board Member Dallo?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico?
Yes.
Mayor Wilsinski?
Yes.
Chairman Quinn?
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You're
Right.
approved. Look, good luck with, basically we'll memorialize this probably now, next month, and then you're free to carry on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Point where I can open it up to the public for any other general questions? Suzanne?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, I'll bring it back to the board. Any comments from the board, any other matters? The question I had for Chris, is there any action on the wireless denial?
No, I have not heard anything. Got no update.
Probably a good thing.
No news, good news.
Yeah. Well, we'll be heading the fourth one, yeah. Park and Ivy, nothing news there.
Not that I'm aware of.
I know they're trying to sell the property, that's the last we heard.
I have an update on 220, if you'd like to hear.
Absolutely.
We actually closed at the end of last month, December. So they've already done asbestos abatement, and as soon as they get their permits, they're gonna start demoing, so that'll probably happen in the next 2 weeks. They most likely will put all the footings in by this winter. And our footings for our community center are actually attached to them, so we're working with our architect to try to get them to put the footings in at the same time. Our piece of it, we have to go to bid, and so it's gonna be a little bit later. But the intent is to try to get it as close as possible, because without our community center in front of it, it's gonna look like these two big ugly towers, because there's no windows, so. And I don't wanna see that all over 07401, and guarantee that'll be there. So, we are, looking, our architect is Mike Scrow, and he's like 90-something%, pretty much done, so. We're looking, and then we'll go to bid for that, but I will keep everybody posted, and we actually update the newsletter every month rather than as well. You're welcome.
Were there any changes to the land use committee?
Pardon?
With the borough reorg, was there any change to the land use committee?
Well, I found out the Rob Forbes resigned, and so we added in John Dallow.
And how about the committee itself, the mayor and council?
So no, we at our mayor and council meeting on Thursday, the municipal committee put up 3 people, and we are going to discuss it, and we're going to vote on bringing in a new council person, and that person is going to be the head of the land use committee.
That's usually the update of what's happening in the borough for this board.
As a courtesy, we were supposed to schedule, Suzanne was gonna have a meeting today, this morning. As a courtesy, I had several conflicts as well as a personal matter this morning. So we moved, and with the new council member coming on tomorrow night, we moved the meeting to next Wednesday. Okay. What we have been doing again with property maintenance concerns, neighbor issues, and just looking forward to out there and Mike's expertise in addressing that type of issue. Okay.
And Ron, I'm noticing, PSCs floating around town, like, the marketing gonna rip up the street. Berkshire.
We post it every 2 weeks, we post, John Gilchrist's good at, that is the Bear Steel project. Which I do a pretty intimate with, because they select have the heights, areas, the construction, the public service project, and we use like that good working relationship with them, and we've been in touch with them, so they have been keeping their stuff down at the DPW facility, and so far so good.
Good. Good. Any other matters? Welcome to the mayor.
Thanks.
John. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moves to Rico.
Second, just
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.